Prayers will not depose a dictatorship. And I don't just mean prayers alone won't depose a dictatorship, but if enough people pray, the dictatorship may come down. Uh, and I know this almost seems like something obvious, even though to a lot of religious people, they'll be like, yeah, of course, prayers alone don't do anything. God helps those who help themselves. There's a reason why that saying exists. God helps those who help themselves because God doesn't exist. And look, this is not going to be an atheist screed or a rant, not at all. This is an earnest, for lack of a better word, a sincere dialogue that I would love to have for people who want to see Cuba become free, free from that tyranny. I feel like the prayers is what kind of got the nation of Cuba into tyranny. And I say this after going to a demonstration a couple weeks ago, and I had an epiphany, which is the reason why so many people make YouTube videos. They think they have epiphanies. And anyway, the moment that I saw everyone praying, and especially praying that it would be Jesus's will, not just God's will, Jesus's will. It's Jesus's will that the Castro regime comes down now. Why wasn't it Jesus's will back in 1959 for the Castro regime to just not come into power at all? Again, I say this as sincerely as possible. I grew up Catholic. I am atheist, to say the least. And if there's one thing I've discovered in life is that it's almost never a good idea to base your decisions on false information, especially major decisions. You want to make major decisions in life, you want to base them on as much accurate, reliable information possible. And this is why we're having so many problems throughout society. So many people base major decisions on false information and delusional hopes. And I should know I'm one of those people too. I've made some pretty bad decisions in life just out of impulse alone, out of delusional hope as well. My making this video to a large degree is out of a delusional hope that I'll somehow reach people. But I feel like it's important to put this out there. I wonder if a lot of people are not thinking this through hard enough, and they're just relying on prayers to fictitious figments of their imagination. And I didn't want to just say figments. I know that it might sound redundant to say fictitious figments of your imagination, but it's really important to stress the fiction, the word false. It's not there. And a lot of people will probably be like, well, you're as an atheist, so do you have all the answers? No, but we need to rule out the falsehoods. And that's a very common response when atheists are like, look, everything you believe is false. And they're like, okay, well, do you have the answers? I may not know exactly how the universe was created, even though it seems like the math backs up the Big Bang Theory, and chances are this universe that we supposedly live in is the result of a black hole from another universe, and it's all this cyclical thing. Without getting into all those details, here's a telltale sign when someone's lying to you, when someone's not. Usually when someone's trying to convince you of something that's not true, there's a threat attached to it. There's, with Christianity, it's like if you don't accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you're going to burn in hell forever. There's the threat. And it's a threat with a deadline. You better make sure you do it before you die. And you never know when you're going to die. You could die tomorrow. You can get hit by a bus. And if you didn't accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, well, you're going to burn in hell forever. With Islam, it's even more direct. It's like, believe in this or we'll kill you. And the same thing with socialism. Socialism's another thing. The weird thing with socialism is that the very definition of socialism, which is an economic system where the means of production are owned by the state, there's nothing false about that. There's nothing supernatural. There's nothing. It's just, it doesn't work. Or better said, it never works the way people think it's going to work. Because when everything is owned by the state, all the major means of production are owned by the state, and you cannot have businesses without the state's approval. You bottleneck innovation. That's the very first reason why socialism doesn't work. It hinders innovation, almost brings it to a grinding halt. Then there's no accountability, or at least no real accountability, because when everybody supposedly owns everything, nobody owns shit. They really don't. And there's no accountability for that. And so there's many reasons why socialism doesn't work the way socialists think it will ever work. But there's nothing false about that, the way, for example, religion is false in the sense that there is Jesus, who is the Son of God, but it's God himself, and blah, blah, blah. And but socialism does have its threat too. And that's how you know. When you have socialists telling you, it'll work this time, we promise. And if you don't join us, well, we're going to harass you, and we're going to make sure that, they do everything that the Castro regime did to the Cuban people. The bottom line, the main point I'm trying to make with this video is, it's not only that it's going to take more than prayers. Just forget the prayers, man. Start plans. We need plans. We need concrete plans. I mean, for right now, the good thing is we have congressional representatives like Maria Salazar, who is my congressional representative, and I really, really admire everything she's doing. My critique is when I heard her in one of her videos saying that, these are satanic forces. At one point, she said that. She literally said that in a video, that these are satanic forces. You know what? You want to describe it that way, but that's not what's happening. It's not Satan. It's not demons. This is not spiritual warfare. This is foreign policy. This is political science. This is economics. And the more we understand this, the closer we will be to solving this problem. And it's not going to be through prayers. It's not going to be through religion. It's not going to be through Jesus Christ. It's not going to be through Santeria and Santa Barbara and Ochun and San Lázaro and all the other crap that is believed by many Cubans in Cuba. And I see it with so many. Every time I see Eddie Cubans with the beads, the black and red beads, I have a little bracelet myself because I like the way they look. That's it. I don't believe in anything that comes with it, all the superstitions that come with this. And once again, this is how these dictatorships manage to get into power. We're dealing with psychopaths that, I want to be very careful with what I say here on YouTube. You're not going to negotiate with psychopaths. You need to eliminate them. Which brings up the whole thing about the military intervention, and that is more than enough for another video. All I wanted to say here is that prayers will not depose a dictatorship in any way, shape, or form. People are going to need to try a lot harder than just praying. As a matter of fact, don't waste your time praying unless while you're praying, you're coming up with blueprints or ideas or concrete steps on how to depose that dictatorship. I hope this helps. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the links down below if you're interested in purchasing any of my original art or any of my printed t-shirts like this one. And thanks for watching.